Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Rona Dayz. This is the show, the 57th version of a show that will never go away. This is like the Groundhog Day of podcasts, where I just recap my week. Because since the day of lockdown, the before time is no longer, and everything from this moment forward, for over a year ago forward, from that moment forward, those are the Rona days. And my Rona days this past week, obviously, Saturday, I'm going to be doing my top 5 erotic thriller films. So I decided to prepare, which I've enjoyed the weeks that I've done top 5 of movies, of specific like movie genres. I've really enjoyed kind of doing these movie marathons. And I did an erotic thriller, not exotic. It's an erotic thriller marathon. It was inspired by the podcast Screen Drafts, where they competitively collaborate to create best of lists, and they did an episode a while back on erotic thrillers, which made me want to revisit that genre of film, a genre of film that really only lasted for a couple decades in the 80s and 90s, even though there are some modern examples which may come up in Saturday's episode. But it was fun. It was fun because, the erotic thriller section, I mean, as a kid, that was like, growing up in the 90s, nobody had the internet yet. The only place you would find porn, like unless your parents had porn or a friend's parents had porn, generally finding porn meant that you stumbled across it somewhere out in the woods. And it's a reality that all kids seem to have had, and things changed. And part of that kind of sexual exploration as a child was renting erotic thrillers or catching them when you got, like, maybe there was a weekend where HBO gave you a free weekend and you had your VHS ready to go with some blank tapes to record a bunch of movies, but specifically erotic thrillers. And one of my favorite erotic thrillers growing up was Basic Instinct, which was fun to revisit, and kind of cheesy. Like, it's very hot. A lot of, like, the idea of the erotic thriller, from what I've seen in a Venn diagram on Wikipedia, is that it's, if you had a circle of romance, you had a circle of thriller, and then you had a circle of softcore porn. And the cross-section of all three of those circles is the erotic thriller genre. And there's a lot of the softcore porn in Basic Instinct. And it's just crazy to see big actors doing softcore porn in general. But yeah, that was one of the big ones that, like, as a kid, like, it's crazy now, like, having digital, like the ability to stop and pause and go in slow-mo with digital. That would have been an amazing feature, because the VHS slow-mo and pause never worked very well. I mean, VHS in general is pretty blurry, so you couldn't really see anything. But yeah, it really took me back to those days. But yeah, it was fun. I've enjoyed these movie marathons. I really have. It's, I don't know, it's just watching a bunch of movies that have a related, like they're in a related subgenre. It's just kind of a really fun way to experience them, because you're in the same mindset for each one. There's a lot of the same elements. So yeah, I did a lot of that this week. Watched a bunch of those, and then rewatched some classics that I hadn't seen, but I had a feeling would be making my list. So I had a lot of fun doing that. I also downloaded DVD ASA Mega Pack. So one of my favorite podcasts of all time is DVD ASA. Was hosted by David Cho and Asa Akira. The artist, the extremely wealthy artist David Cho, and one of the most popular porn stars ever, of Asa Akira. and started listening to old episodes. But the mega pack included, it's all audio. Um, it had some of the previous podcasts that he had done, and I think it had some of the spin-off podcasts that came from DVDSA. But yeah, I'm just re-listening to, I think I'm only like 6 episodes in of when it first started, and it's kind of crazy. It's crazy listening to it because I remember all these conversations, even though I've listened to thousands of podcasts since then. But yeah, like I can remember it. I can almost like visualize because I don't have the video of these episodes. So I'm like, I can, the audio is reminding me of the video, which is kind of cool. But I enjoyed the podcast. I forgot how truly like David Show really didn't care and put himself out there in a way where so many like comics and other people are so worried about getting canceled because of stuff that like David Show would literally in every episode would say maybe 10 different things that could potentially get him canceled, but he's really uncancelable. He's extremely wealthy many times over from doing many things, whether it was from gambling or the stocks that he was given for painting the Facebook offices, to just his paintings. Now I'm sure they sell for a lot of money. um it's a lot of fun to kind of revisit that and to kind of hear his mentality again. There's no voice I've heard in podcasting that is as free and as dangerous as when David Show talks about things in his life. And I kind of miss that bravery. And it's fun. It's been fun to revisit. So that's been a big part of this week. I'm also starting to brainstorm ideas to replace Sunday's episodes, because the Ultimate Movie Championship is a rerun of a segment that I used to do on my old podcast, the Inspired Disorder podcast. And there was, I think, like 94 or 96 episodes segments that we had done. And then everything kind of fell apart in Denver, and the show stopped, and everything stopped. And um, so that is coming to an end very soon. I think this week is 85. So we got about 10 more weeks to go. So only a few more months. And Sundays, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do to replace it, because it's been so nice having, just re-releasing those episodes. But I'm excited to do something new. I mean, recently I started doing top 5, which has been a lot of fun. I've had some ideas on what to do, like potentially doing MMA, like talking about classic MMA fights, maybe, or maybe talking about jujitsu competitions. I'm not as psyched about that, just because I kind of enjoy just being a casual fan with that stuff and not having to follow it every week. And I'm not as knowledgeable on, as far as speaking on those things as I would like to be, as in comparison to like movies. I might do something like where you do a show breakdown where I review an episode of a show every week. Um, that might be something I do. Just something that would be like a long-term thing that I could lock in, but I think would be fun. So I might do that. Actually, the idea of doing a TV show, uh, uh, an episode by episode breakdown, is something I haven't done before. Really, I mean, I kind of have before, but not in this, not in kind of this kind of. I've talked about like a documentary series, episode by episode, but not like a narrative thing. So that might be something that replaces. If you have any ideas for something you'd like to see me do on Sundays, let me know. I've also thought of maybe doing like a cooking show, but that would be more of like maybe like a mini series. It wouldn't be a long-term thing. Um, but I don't know if I want to do that at all. Like thinking of that long term, I don't know. And in addition to all that stuff, I have been drawing on. I got a new iPad recently with the Apple Pencil, and it's been nice, like kind of playing around with it. I was playing around last night, drawing, using Photoshop because I have Photoshop on my laptop, which lets me download it from my iPad for free. So I've been playing around with that, and the Photoshop on the iPad is pretty interesting. Not as robust as the full Photoshop. I don't know if I'll be using it necessarily to do Photoshops. I might. Just I'm so used to the desktop version of Photoshop that it's effortless. But the ability to use my pen, the Apple Pencil, which is amazing, I think it works great. Is a lot of fun. So look forward to that. I might be releasing a bunch of digital art soon. Um, we'll see, like digital faces, part of the many faces, but doing digitally instead. It'd be a lot easier. I could transfer it to merch very easy. I could sell prints of it very easily. So look forward to that. It's been fun, kind of just playing around with that, just new form factor. But yeah, that's it for this week. That's been my week of Rona Days, man. It's been pretty relaxing week, just watching a lot of erotic thriller movies while doing my other stuff. Kind of a relaxing week. Hasn't been too hot. It's been a good one. So I hope everybody out there is having a good week, and being safe and being healthy and all of that. And I'll talk to you again next week. Get yourself some cell phone service that doesn't cost you an arm and a leg over at Ting. Go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Ting, and get yourself $25 in credit that you can apply to a new device or to your service. If you already have a phone that you love, you could bring that phone over. They support all the major networks. They support all the major phones. It's an amazing service that you pay very little for what you use. They have great plans. So get started now over at Ting by going through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Ting. That's Ting, and get yourself $25 in credit today. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com, and follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!